been watching you all evening, and I want to tear you apart. And your friend, too.
Let's kill that bastard now, man. Let's do it for Tommy.
Pound for pound, Sugar Ray Robinson, the greatest fighter ever lived.
Oh, come on, man. What about Joe Louis? Nobody in here ever heard of Cassius Clay.
We got a point. Cassius Clay was a bad.
It's Arsenio Hall!
There was a lot of stuff that the legends didn't like. And as much as I walked out with a smile and did the show every night, I was tortured, man.
There is a point where you say, I can't please anybody. Spike Lee saying I'm an Uncle Tom and white people saying I'm too black. Who am I doing this for? Yeah. So there's a point where of trying to please everybody. To please anyone.
If you're craving a belly laugh, Arsenio Hall's movies are your go-to. This comedic genius has kept us in stitches since the 80s, but the drama behind those punchlines are wild.
And if your woman's not in bed and you're a real man, your first thought is, oh, where's my cell phone? That's your first thought.
Arsenio's off-screen life, juicier than a Georgia peach. We're talking Hollywood feuds, mysterious disappearances, and scandalous interviews. If you thought his jokes were fire, wait till you hear about the behind-the-scenes chaos. Arsenio Hall's life isn't just comedy. It's the reality show you never knew you needed.
What's wrong with you, man? I'm black. I'm black, man.
Born on February 12, 1956 in Cleveland, Ohio, to Fred and Annie Hall, Arsenio was destined to entertain. This man was pulling rabbits out of his hat as a child magician before he even knew what comedy gold he was sitting on.
He had gotten to see me on TV as a magician once. Because when I was little, they flew me to New York to do a show called Soul. And I think they just did a documentary on that show. This gentleman who had a show in New York, and they flew me there to do magic. And my dad got to announce at the end of church one Sunday, watch my son tonight. He'll be doing magic on television.
Arsenio graduated from Warrensville Heights High School in Ohio, class of 73, after a short stint at John F. Kennedy High. Then he hit up Ohio University in Kent State, probably leaving a trail of laughs behind him.
We've known each other since college, man. Arsenio and I went to Kent State together.
What's even crazier is I cheated on his paper.
In 1979, Arsenio Hall bounced from Ohio to Chicago, ready to take over the comedy scene. Jazz singer Nancy Wilson peeped his talent.
I owe much of my success to my next guest. She's one of the best song stylists, probably in the history of music, and I think so. That's my statement. And here tonight to perform, If I Could, from her album Nancy Now, here is Grammy Award winner Nancy Wilson.
And soon, he was touring with legends like Patti LaBelle, Aretha Franklin, Tina Turner, and Stevie Wonder. He even showed up on Soul Train. By 1984, Arsenio was the hype man on Alan Thicke's talk show, Thick of the Night.
Thank God for Clara.
Yeah. And brought his unique flavor to NBC's match game, Hollywood Squares Hour.
Arsenio, how many eyes does a bat have? The answer's boobs. No, go on.
He also voiced Winston Zeddemore in The Real Ghostbusters from 1986 to 1987.
The only place I want to go right now is home. We're taking the long way home or something. Seems like it's taking us forever.
But 1988 was his year. Co-starring in Coming to America with Eddie Murphy.
What have you done?
You told me to fix up the place.
I should kill you.
Why?
I'm supposed to be a poor man.
Arsenio stole the show, playing characters like Simi, Reverend Brown.
I want you and that young man to tie that knot. I'm gonna pray for you. And I want you to hold on to God's unchanging hand.
Morris, and even a female clubgoer.
I want to tear you apart.
The movie was a cultural phenomenon, ranking in over 288 million and earning 2 Oscar nods. Arsenio didn't just act, he made power moves. In 1987, he started Arsenio Hall Communications and inked a multi-picture deal with Paramount Pictures, proving he was a boss in Hollywood too. Arsenio Hall wasn't just breaking barriers, he was smashing them into pieces as the first black man to host a late-night talk show.
I'm Bill Royce, and in the 90s, I was one of the producers of 2 of the most talked about late-night talk shows there were. First, the Arsenio Hall Show, and then The Tonight Show with Jay Leno. And Arsenio was much more fun.
But honey, that move came with all kinds of drama and challenges. The Arsenio Hall show premiered on January 3, 1989.
Arsenio!
And ran until May 27, 1994. When the show dropped, it went head-to-head with another late-night show, but Arsenio's vibe was an instant hit. This wasn't just any talk show, it was a cultural earthquake. Arsenio knew how to keep it fresh, targeting a young hip crowd and bringing in guests like MC Hammer, Eddie Murphy, and Hulk Hogan.
Hey, man, good to be here.
One of the most iconic moments? U.S. presidential candidate Bill Clinton's unforgettable appearance in June 1992. Clinton hit the stage and blew everyone away by playing Heartbreak Hotel on the saxophone. This wasn't just a jam session, it was a game changer. Clinton's cool factor skyrocketed, especially with young and minority voters, helping him to secure a win in the 1992 election. And let's not forget Tupac. One of Arsenio's favorite moments was when Tupac graced the show and candidly talked about smoking. That was raw, real, and pure Tupac.
See, I get a feeling there are two Tupacs.
Punani smelling God.
Arsenio Hall was more than a host. He was the king of late night, turning every episode into a can't-miss event.
It's like Michael Jordan. Because he plays like that, right? You don't even want to check him because Michael's like...
But honey, you know there was always drama lurking somewhere. In December 1990, things got real spicy during a taping of the Arsenio Hall show. 3 or 4 members of Queer Nation, scattered in different sections of the audience, interrupted Hall's opening monologue. They demanded to know why he never had any openly gay guests on the show.
I'm sorry, why don't I have any gay guests on my show? Well, there are a lot of gay guests who really don't like to talk about their sexual preference, so we don't know whether they're gay or not. This ain't Merv. You didn't think I'd run from this, did you? This ain't Johnny. I ain't gonna run from it. I'm gonna deal with it. Who would you like me to have on my show that's gay that maybe I haven't had? Who? I don't know Gus Van Sant, but I know Elton John. He's been here and he's rocked the house.
Arsenio, caught off guard, but quick on his feet, explained that since most guests weren't public about their sexuality, neither he nor the producers knew who was gay. But the protesters weren't having it. They called out the show for not booking openly gay figures like filmmaker Gus Van Sant or actor Harvey Fierstein. Arsenio clapped back, mentioning that Elton John had been a guest. The tension was thick as he got increasingly frustrated, defending the show by saying he booked guests based on their work, not their sexual orientation. The heated exchange went on for several minutes, with Arsenio passionately standing his ground. He pointed out that he had gay friends and that a person's sexual preference was nobody's business. In a 2014 interview, Arsenio stated that he was angry about the insinuation, as he has always been a supporter of gay rights.
Yeah, I played it and I was angry, and I'm still angry because there was no one more important to the gay community in late night. I put the first openly gay female stand-up, Leah Deliria, on. I had death threats. By the way, can you imagine how bored a person is that in America their death threat is because I put a lesbian on with jokes? Get a life. But the bottom line is, we were in a climate and a time where the ignorance of the gay community about their own
stand-up comics, I said, you know, nobody's talking about being a lesbian. Maybe that'll get me on TV.
He said he would do it the same all over again because he was not the one to play with.
Here is the jam I was in, and here was my frustration and my anger. I knew what was going on in Hollywood. I knew who was gay, and they were on my show every night. And to have someone stand up in my audience and do that to me, because you're taking food off my plate, you're taking money out of my son's tuition when you stand up at my job and do that. And if you're wrong, and I say they're wrong, I'll say it today that they're wrong, and I'll keep that segment in again today, because people who are wrong should have that happen to them publicly.
The program remained a hit well into 1993, airing on 178 stations across America. But as the year went on, Hall and Paramount started feeling the heat. Ratings began to slide, thanks to the premiere of 3 new late-night series that shook up the landscape. When The Late Show with David Letterman debuted in August, several CBS shows, including WBBM-TV, either dropped Hall's show or pushed it to the graveyard shift. As Letterman's show became a runaway success, most of the remaining stations followed suit, leaving Hall's show struggling for viewership. In what seemed like a desperate last-ditch effort to save the show, Arsenio made a bold and controversial move. He booked Nation of Islam leader Louis Farrakhan.
Minister Louis Farrakhan, the controversial leader of the Nation of Islam. He's been called enlightened and inspirational. He's also been called racist and anti-Semitic. Many people are thrilled that I'm having him here tonight. Others are furious with me. But as the Public Enemy lyric goes, I gotta do what I gotta do. I hope something positive comes out of the next hour.
Stirring up a storm of criticism.
Why do you think there has been so much resistance to me having you on the show?
Arsenio promised equal airtime to gospel singer Kirk Franklin and his group, The Family, to balance things out. But the drama was already brewing.
To one of gospel's brightest new stars, performing He Can Handle It. Please give it up for Kirk Franklin and The Family.
Here we go, come on! Everybody put your hands together.
When the episode aired, nearly the entire show was devoted to Hall's interview with Farrakhan, sidelining Franklin and his group. Arsenio received widespread backlash for what many considered a soft interview, failing to challenge Farrakhan on his most controversial views. Years later, Arsenio revealed that the team was shocked by the response of the public when the interview was announced.
We were shocked at the attention that it got on the day the booking was announced. But we knew our audience. We knew people were interested in him and the coming Million Man March that I had heard him talk about, which was my big interest. I had seen him do a recital and play violin, and I knew his violin teacher was a white lady. I had a curiosity about the man, and like anybody else, I put him on. I thought my audience would want to hear this man.
Arsenio Hall pointed out that the backlash he received was different from what other hosts experienced when they had Louis Farrakhan on their shows. And though he didn't say it outright, let's keep it real. Over here, we know that the color of his skin played a big part in that response. Arsenio was navigating a double standard, facing criticisms that white hosts simply didn't have to deal with.
Before, I bring people here and I talk to them because I think you might be interested in these people. I'm not exactly sure why booking him caused people to deal with me any differently than Barbara Walters or anybody else that interviewed him. Even if you think I suck as an interviewer, I have the right to talk also. I didn't like that I was being dealt with different than other people who booked him at the same time, the same month.
Many speculated that it was that explosive interview with Farrakhan that led to the cancellation of the Arsenio Hall show. The decline in viewership after the interview only fueled the rumors.
My resignation letter was long before the Farrakhan booking. That's on record. It went to a man named Kerry McCluggage at Paramount. And I was still trying to do great shows. But the bottom line is, at the time I resigned, I don't think I knew how to spell Farrakhan.
19 years after the original show was canceled in 1994, the Arsenio Hall show made a comeback in 2013. It premiered on September 9, 2013, bringing back Arsenio's unique flair to late-night TV.
The legend returns to late night.
Did you miss me?
Fans were hyped, but unfortunately, the magic didn't last. Despite the initial excitement, low ratings plagued the show once again, leading to its cancellation after just one season. The finale aired on May 21, 2014. In an appearance on The Howard Stern Show, Arsenio revealed that behind the scenes, it was a fight to get approval for a lot of his ideas, as the showrunners wanted him to be more conservative.
A lot of stuff that the legends didn't like. And as much as I walked out with a smile and did the show every night, I was tortured, man. It was always some shit. Like me and Ice Cube are cool now. But when Paramount wouldn't let me put NWA on, he wrote a song and put, when a rapper puts your name, when he spit your name in some bars, it's like, oh.
He says despite being the one to move on from the show, there is still some regret.
I didn't do a lot of acting. I ended up becoming a father and trying to get back into business later on.
Right.
And it's rough, because the business don't wait for you. You can't take a break from show business. Maybe you stick with where people are comfortable having you. I mean, the world kind of chooses who you are. You don't always get to choose. You don't get to say, oh, I want to do more acting.
Now, the media loves to stir up the pot, honey. In 2013, they whipped up a juicy rumor claiming Arsenio Hall and Eddie Murphy were locked in a bitter feud because Eddie refused to appear on the reboot of the Arsenio Hall show. But hold up, Arsenio wasn't having any of that nonsense. He set the record straight on his own show, addressing the rumors head on. And guess who showed up to clear the air? Eddie Murphy himself, looking as confused as the rest of us about this supposed feud. Despite the drama that swirls around Hollywood, Arsenio Hall and Eddie Murphy have kept their friendship rock solid over the years. Eddie went so far as to name Arsenio the godfather to his eldest daughter.
Eddie's daughter, Bria, had an art show, my goddaughter.
A role that Arsenio has accepted with pride, cementing their bond beyond comedy. Their collaboration didn't end with the original Coming to America either. They reunited to reprise their iconic roles in the sequel, showing that their chemistry and camaraderie are as strong as ever. Through the ups and downs of showbiz, Arsenio and Eddie have showered each other with praise and respect, proving that true friendship can withstand the test of time and the sometimes crazy drama of Hollywood.
I was told he wanted to do the movie with Michael Blackson. Now, see, he turned it into a joke.
Despite his fame, Arsenio Hall has fiercely guarded his personal life. He welcomed his son Arsenio Hall Jr. into the world in 1998 with his then partner Cheryl Bonacci. However, by 2002, reports surfaced that Arsenio and Cheryl had gone their separate ways. Hall made a deliberate choice to step back from the spotlight for a while to focus on raising his son. Every milestone was precious to him, especially after medical concerns had suggested he might never have children. Worth approximately $16 million, the 68-year-old continues to live a charmed life with his son. Coming to America 2 was a major success, accumulating almost $300 million at the box office worldwide. No one is sure if he is in a relationship, but we can guarantee this. If he is, his partner is always laughing. No new projects have been announced for the star, but we can only hope he will grace our screen soon.